Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we just ended the game against Paris Saint-Germain, which was our first Champions League game at home and our second Champions League game this season, and we have lost. We lost against them 2-1. Paris Saint-Germain scored those goals through Mayulu and Gonçalo Ramos in the 90th minute. That goal was scored after Barcelona had gone ahead through Ferran Torres in the first half. Let me say without any doubt, Paris Saint-Germain deserved to win this game, period. I mean, this is a squad that had about 4 players who were starters, sure starters, absent in the team. They were injured. They didn't even make the bench. Marquinhos was not there. Desire Doué was not there. Ousmane Dembele, the Ballon d'Or winner, was not there. And Kvaratskhelia was also not there. But Luis Enrique found a way to put the team together. He used a lot of young players, and they found a way to stifle us. They took possession of the ball, especially in the second half. They bossed the midfield, and they got a goal at the end. I think it was fair. The result that they got was well-deserved. Well done, PSG. One of the things I can easily see in this game was the fact that Paris Saint-Germain was a team, or is a team, that has a lot of depth. Yes, like I mentioned, they didn't have about 4 players absent, but they had a core of a young team that could cover for the players who was out injured. And with the management of Luis Enrique, it was not a surprise that they were able to manage and get a good result against Barcelona away from home. One of the concerning things about this game for me when the game started was the fact that we played with the central defense of Eric Garcia and Pau Kubasi. I'm not so sure that was the right decision, and I was always uncomfortable because that pair was not a pair we had seen play together anytime recently. So it was quite a surprise for me, because obviously Araujo was not playing. I'm not sure he was injured. Christian Eriksen was not starting. Obviously, he came in the second half, so that means he wasn't injured. So I really don't know why he made that decision. One of the things I could probably think as an excuse would be that he wanted to play with a team, with a central defense that knew how to hold the ball and knew how to progress with the ball. And I think that if that was the goal, Christensen could have easily played instead of Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia, we've praised him a couple of times this season for his versatility and ability to play wherever needed and whenever needed. But, against teams like this that are very fast, very technical, and playing with Eric Garcia in central defense was always a risk. Against teams that don't have the quality that PSG have, it wouldn't have been a bad decision. But against a team that is so technical, with a good coach, a team that won the Champions League last season, even though they're missing some players, I'm not sure that was a good decision he made. I personally think that we started the game with a lot of intent. We tried to control possession, we pressed, and we tried to create chances. Obviously, it wasn't so easy because PSG played with little or no chance behind them. And, with our efforts, it was obvious that we were going to get a goal, and we did get a goal. Fine goal, nice assist from Rashford, and Ferran Torres scored. After that goal, we could have probably scored 2 more, but for some reason, it never happened. And towards the 30th minute, PSG started to grow into the game, and I was not surprised they got an equalizer. After the equalizer, they took possession of the game till the game ended. Around the 35th minute, PSG started getting more confident, and I was not surprised that they got an equalizer. Fantastic goal, and the youngster Mayulu scored. I think that Pau Kubasi missed, that ball, and he could have saved it. If he had intercepted that ball, it would have been a goal. And I don't know. I think that Hans Flick might need to have a conversation with Pau Kubasi because, towards the end of last season into this season, it's looking like his level has dropped. Not the level that he was at the beginning of the season that made the world take notice of him. Rash tackles, lots of concentration and stuff like that. Something needs to change in his play. If not, maybe he probably needs a rest so he can recalibrate and come back better. I have to say that Inigo Martinez was very instrumental in Pau Kubasi's performance last season. I'm sorry I'm bringing his name up again, but he's sorely missed in this team. Having Inigo Martinez in this team would have made a world of difference, and it's unfortunate that financial states didn't allow us sign a replacement or didn't allow us keep him or give him some kind of compensation that will make him not consider the bid that came from Saudi Arabia. It really is what it is. Not much I can say. Like I mentioned earlier, PSG deserved to win this game. I mean, this was a team that had 53% possession more than us at home. They had more expected goals, they had more total shots, and they had more big chances created. All the key metrics that you would consider to determine which team was better, they won. Would I blame Hansi Flick for this result? I would say not so much. Why? Because Hansi Flick took over this team when it was pretty much in shambles and we were not able to strengthen the team. He managed the players that he had, brought some youngsters and was able to get significant, results. In fact, tremendous results last season. We won the domestic treble and we were 2 minutes away from the Champions League final. He was amazing last season. This season, like I mentioned, with Inigo Martinez's departure, I would say that Barcelona are not particularly better than we were last season. Yes, we got in Joan Garcia and we brought in Marcus Rashford on loan, but that departure is a significant hole in our defense because no other player in that team as we speak could replace him, could replace the value he brought, could replace the experience that he brought, could replace the passion and the energy that he brought to the team last season, and that is what is evidently missing this season. I mean, we have to talk about Nuno Mendes. That guy is a fantastic player. We saw how he performed last season and he seems to be taking it higher this season. That run for the first goal that he scored was superb, was amazing. One thing though, I think that the referee could have taking a second look at that second tackle and he could easily have gotten a second yellow card, which would have meant that PSG would play with one man down. I think the referee was a bit reluctant and unwilling to check if he had checked, because at that time he had gotten a yellow card. He was almost certain to get a second yellow with that tackle, but for some reason the referee thought otherwise and the game continued, and obviously we could see the damage he did to our team today. As a team, I think we generally didn't do well, but two players for me were worse than the others. The first player for me is Dani Olmo. I really don't know what's wrong with him because he's not been good for a while. Towards the end of last season into this season, I've been concerned about his form because he's been playing terribly. And little wonder Fermin Lopez had been playing ahead of him. And if not for the injury that Fermin had, he definitely would have played ahead of Dani Olmo in this game. My advice for Dani Olmo would be the fact that if you intend to play ahead of Fermin, such performances will not help your case. I'm hoping that he turns the corner. I'm hoping that he picks up his form and starts playing the way we expect him to, the way he played when he came in early into the team last season. That Dani Olmo is lost. We need him back, so he needs to fix up. The good thing about this Champions League is that there are 8 games to play. We have only played 2. We have 6 more games. These are massive opportunities for us to get points on the board, pick our form, and move up the table. So, chill, guys. One of the concerns I have about this team is that financial issues made it difficult for us to strengthen the team the way we needed to strengthen. And obviously, it is showing. PSG, yes, they didn't have 4 players in their starting 11 playing, but they have a lot of depth. They have a lot of players who could come in and do the job. For us at Barcelona, it is not the same. Yes, we have La Masia to depend on, but you can't always depend on these young guys. There's always a need to bring in 1 or 2 experienced players, to help bolster the team. I think that we could have gotten a replacement for Inigo Martinez after he left. There were opportunities, but obviously for financial reasons, we couldn't take up those opportunities, and it is coming back to haunt us this season. I hope that Hansi Flick doesn't get frustrated because last season when he came, he knew that the team was limited and it was what he had. But obviously, I think that he probably would be expecting that, the financial state would have been better for him to be able to get 1 or 2 players in the team. Obviously, that hasn't happened. I hope he doesn't decide to walk at the end of the season. Please, Laporta, you have to keep this guy. So 2 games in, 3 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. We are somewhere around the 18th position on the table. Hey guys, don't worry, there's so many games to play. We can move up the table. But this is not where we should be, and we should at least have gotten a draw if we had our acts together. Hansi Flick will obviously be living with his players because that last goal was avoidable. We could have defended better, we could have kept our line better, and we messed it up, and that was how they scored the goal. Fantastic goal, so credit to PSG for playing and getting the result. They really deserved it. So that'll be all from me, guys. Let me know your thoughts regarding the game. How do you think we played? What do you think is the most important thing that we did wrong that made us lose this game? How do you think Hansi Flick should approach the coming games? And what do you think our prospects are in the Champions League this season? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the videos I'm going to be posting this week. Until then, live well, be safe, and Visca Barça.